Hello YouTube people and welcome to this tutorial in Maya. Today I'm going to show you how to rig buttons and how to rig a belt with a very old school technique with a modern twist. So the buttons are not going to have controls or anything, they are just going to move with the vest and the body of this character without having extra deformations or distance between the vest and the space. So it's very easy. You're going to be surprised on how easy this is. So selecting the vest, you can select edges, vertex, faces for what I'm going to do. In this case I'm using edges, so select this and select the edge that is the nearest to the center of the button. It doesn't have to be exactly the same because we can move it later, but right now I think I have everything I need. And then go to rigging menu, constraint, and select rivet. This version, this rivet option only it's available in Maya 2020. So if you're using a previous version, you will have to use the old school method, which is not the greatest. Usually you use it with follicles, but it's not very nice to use in some cases. So, well, now that we have these locators which are great, is that they are connected via matrix to the vest, so they are moving exactly in the point that you put it, even though they are available to move and offset a little bit, and they are going to work nicely anyways. Okay, after doing this you can just put the geometry inside the locator with P, selecting geometry, then locator, and hit P. And maybe you will say, well, the animator is going to touch this and they are going to move it and is going to have keys and it's going to be a disaster. And you cannot hide this because of the hierarchy you just made, but you can select the locator, go to attribute editor, and in object display hide the visibility checkbox. So you can hide the locator but still show the geometry of the button. Let me save this. By doing that, you already have a really nice button set up that you can move around. And if you see this, it's looking beautiful because, well, this character doesn't have weight painting yet, but all the buttons are moving around without deforming, and they are not moving like this, for example, that usually happens when you weight paint stuff, that they move out of the geometry, and is great. I really love this method. It's very clean, and the performance is great as well. With the belt, we're going to do something similar but a little bit more complex. So selecting, well, you can just put this in here and make a group name or something. I'm just going to hide it by now and save. For the belt, I'm going to, well, I have the geometry of the original belt, and I also created this one by duplicating the original geometry and removing the faces that I didn't want, so only this remaining. Selecting this and also the props that are attached to it, I'm just going to isolate this and also select again the props and add this transparency here so I can create rivets to the belt. The problem is that since I already created for the buttons, this one is called pin output and doesn't have any number. If I create another one, it's going to be called the same, and Maya doesn't like when you have two stuff that are the same name. So just put a 0 in here and then add the extra rivets unit. I think I'm missing one. I'm pretty sure I'm missing one. Huh. Well, there was one here. I don't know what it is anymore. But let's just pretend it exists. Okay. And then create a constraint rivet. And I'm just going to add the geometry again as I did with the buttons, but I'm going to hit pause in the video to do it quickly. Okay, that is it. Ah, well, I forgot one. There. Where is this? Okay, I'm just going to delete this one. Okay, so now I have the extra assets of the weld moving with the secondary weld that I created. I'm just going to select this secondary weld, which has the rivets, and select the geometry that is nearest to it, which is in this case, well, it's the body, but there is also this piece of clothing that I'm going to use instead. So selecting the belt and then the cloth, and go to the form wrap. Remember to put exclusive bind and render influence objects. Let me save and make sure that I just created one. Yes, okay. So when you move around the character, which actually doesn't have any weight, so don't judge. Let me hide this. Is moving the belt and is moving the geometry, but is deforming the belt. And in this case, since it looks like an armor, it doesn't make much sense that is looking like so fluffy. So what am I going to do with the original is to create a rig, a simple rig. So it's going to move with the body, yes, and you may not be in need of having a rig, but if you need it, it's going to be there, so you can adjust it if you want it. So it's better to have it if the animator needs it. So I'm just going to create four joints, but I may need something here. So let me just create another one, another rivet in here. Constraint rivet. Okay, and I'm going to select this one and this one. Maybe this one and this one. We don't need so many controllers, like all of them is not necessary. So for those, I'm using Comet because I'm addicted to Comet. I'm so sorry about that. Again, so Comet shapes joint. You can create a joint on your own, doesn't matter. What? Huh. Okay. Well, that was unexpected. Okay, so we have 4 joints. I'm going to put them inside each rivet. And you should probably also create controllers for this. But I'm being lazy here and I'm not adding them, but it's just creating a control and then put the joint you just created inside the control and everything inside each the rivet. So that will be it. And then selecting these 4 joints and then the main welt and just skin by skin. Let me save this. And now we have, let me hide this. We have a belt that is moving without deforming weirdly, is moving like if it was an armor with the body, right? But for example, you do this, and maybe you want to move the rest of the belt that should have weight painting, by the way. And well, this is not the one, this one, and you can move it here and modify it, so it's going to work the right way. Oh, actually, now that I see, there is a problem that I just noticed with the accessories. Maybe in this case, specifically this case, because of these extra assets that we have, we may need to have one joint per accessory. So this hierarchy should be like this. So when you move it, it's moving everything. Because if not, this is going to be there, like floating around. So yeah, in this case, we need as much as accessories we have in the belt, we need joints. Yeah, if it was just a simple mesh, this would work, just only 4. But yeah. So, well, this is the tutorial of how to rig belts and buttons. I hope it was useful, and thanks for watching.